folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast, episode 60. My name is Ruth, and I am the host of my podcast here. I'm coming to you from the state of Vermont in the United States, and I welcome all of you. This is my 60th episode, as I just said, which it just astounds me. So happy to be here and so grateful for all of you who have joined me in this quest of sharing our lovely fibery goodness. But I'm so glad to be here. It's been a great ride. And for those of you who have been joining me over on Vlogmas, thank you so much for all of your likes. And I have picked up quite a few subscribers over Vlogmas, which I am so grateful for. Thank you so much for joining me. My method of doing Vlogmas is a little unique, shall we say. I don't really speak. I do put some captions in, but I just want to create a more relaxed, atmospheric type of vibe over there. So same channel, and if you want to join me over there, they're not very long vlogs, 5 I think minutes I like to stay to, but sometimes I go upwards of 8 minutes if I have a lot of footage from the day. It's just all about what gets on here at our little sheep farm up in Vermont. My husband, my dog Cooper, and my cat Dora are also featured, and Cooper seems to have enjoyed the limelight, so thank you for all your wonderful sweet comments about my Cooper. He's doing well. He's getting up in age. He's 13, so we cherish every day we have with him. But enough about that. This is going to be a little different sequence of things than I normally do, just because it's Christmas and I'm making gifts and doing all sorts of little things other than my normal making. So if you want to catch my normal podcast or normal making, head on over to 59, which was my previous podcast, or any of the other ones before that. Yeah, it'll have more of my day-to-day makes. So yeah, where you can find me, I am Rabbit Lady on Ravelry, Counting Sheep at Sunrise Hill on Instagram and Threads, and then I'm also Counting Sheep on Facebook. So that's the socials. I want to remember to get that in every single time. What I'm wearing is a very, very old make, and it kind of shows. I did a little depilling on it this morning, but I could go a lot longer with it, the depilling. This is an I believe an Istix or Let Lopi pattern, but I did it up in Manos del Uruguay yarn, which is a single spun yarn. And so therefore it's kind of a loosey-goosey yarn, and so it pills a lot, but the color is gorgeous. The color has been maintained throughout the life of this yarn, which is wonderful. But I just want to show you, it's kind of I call it my poinsettia sweater, but really it's like these snowflakes, and it's just the round, little bit of color work on the sleeves here. You can see all my little pills here, and then also some color work at the bottom as well. Yeah, but it's an oldie but goodie. It keeps me nice and warm, especially on these kind of low wind chill days we have here in Vermont. But anyway, so that's my sweater. I am going to kind of segue into what's been happening, obviously Vlogmas and my advent calendars. If you haven't joined me over there, just to inform you that I have 2 advent calendars that I've been opening up. And one of them is a Yarny Advent, and that is from Toad Hollow. They are 2 sisters who dye yarn in New Jersey, which is my old stomping ground. Yeah, and so I have been opening and getting 120 gram mini skein, hand dyed, every day. And I've been collecting them up in here. These are kind of my leftovers, but I think they will feature again in the piece that I am making. But I just wanted to share with you just a little bit of this handful of yarn. We're a little over halfway through Advent already, which is just blows my mind. But those are the latest ones that have come through. This vibrant blue just sings to my heart. And then there was this green. So this Advent is based on inspiration that the two sisters take from the national parks. And by inspiration, I mean they have inspiration photos that they kind of work from. And you will see that in the names of the different colorways that I put up on the screen. They sent a card along to tell you the names of each skein of yarn as you open it. Today's is this. I haven't worked today's into my piece yet, but if you were with me last time, you know I'm trying to make a cardigan, which is a very grandiose goal. It won't be done by the end of Advent, but it's kind of really cool to open up a different color every day and work it into a piece and see how it comes out. So I am making the Lola cardigan, which is from Lilla Bjorn. This is the one on the picture on the pattern. And then she also had some pictures as well in Ravelry, so I printed one of those out. This is the one that kind of gave me inspiration because it looks like she's used a lot more colors than what the pattern states. I think she only states there's five different colors, yarns A through E, for the one that's here on the pattern. But this one, she's obviously used way more colors, and so that's what inspired me to use the Advent for this sweater. So without further ado, I was just gonna show you so far how we're doing. Now she loves texture, this designer, and a lot of this is front post, back post, and popcorns. She likes popcorns a lot, so but that's how it's coming out, and I just love the whole splash of color in this yoke. Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous. And also, I think she's worked in this one, she's also worked the colors throughout the body. So that's what I mean by the rest of this, I think, is going to be worked into the pattern somehow. And that'll be my my design choice of how I go about that. But so yeah, it's coming along, and it's exciting, and it's a fun thing to do for Advent. So if you're into getting a yarny Advent and you're wondering what to do with all the yarn, definitely there are a lot of different ideas you can search for on Ravelry. This pattern happened to be just languishing away in my save file, and when I came across it on Ravelry when I was doing a search for Advent knits and crochets, it popped right up, and I was really pleased to find out that I already owned the pattern. So yeah, so that's the Advent. And of course the other Advent I'm doing is the Twice Sheared Sheep Advent. And that is just a box of Knitterly Crocheter goodies. And there was I think the first day was a bag, which was gorgeous. And then there's tools that come in, stitch markers, row counters. I just got a needle threader, which is very handy, some stickers, just some really great little things for knitters and crocheters. So highly recommend that Advent, and that has been very fun to do. All right, so one other thing in crochet, if you were with me last year, I made myself a pair of gloves, which I had been wanting for the longest time, like a nice fitting pair of gloves. And right around that time, I came across or the pattern, and came across my radar is from Brittany at B.Hooked. She has a channel here on YouTube, and she is a fantastic designer. And I know this took her a while to parse out this particular pattern, but let me tell you, the fit on these is wonderful, and you can tell that my gloves are very well loved. There's just a little bit of fuzz going on here because I wear them all the time in the winter, especially when I'm in the car and I'm driving and you need your fingers free for whatever, knobs and that sort of thing. So, and this one, these I made out of John Arbin Yarnadelic. I believe this was sunflower something. I like the yellow color. It kind of contrasts well with my maroon winter jacket. And then when I went to see my mom last Christmas, she loved them so much, and I said, "You want me to make you a pair?" And she said, "Yeah." And I went and got the yarn for them, and then it just sat there because, you know, after Christmas, you lose kind of that whole gift-giving mojo and that sort of thing. And she didn't put a timeline on it anyway. She's 91 years old. And she says, "Ruth, you know, if you have it done by next year, that's fine." So I found the yarn again. This is also Yarnadelic, and I started her pair. As you can see, I have 2 fingers to go. Here's the thumb, pinky, and ring finger. This is done in waistcoat stitch, which means that you're placing your hook right into the middle of the single crochet, not the top 2 loops, but right smack dab in the middle. And you have to keep it kind of loosey-goosey. I think I've said that before about waistcoat stitch. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. I love how it looks, but to actually do it, you really have to keep your crocheting loose. She does a pretty standard rib, crochet rib for the bottom. And yeah, I'm tooling along on this. I put some time in to them every day because I want to get these done for my mom. I'm going to see her after Christmas, a few days after Christmas, so I want to be able to give them to her. This is, like I said, also Yarnadelic, but this is the Nobody Knows colorway. She has a black coat, so any color would go. I kind of showed her a screen of colors from Yarnadelic because I wanted to use this yarn again. It's very well wearing, and it's a nice yarn. It's 100% Falklands Corriedale, and it's also got a nice softness to it. It just feels good in your hand. So, and they have lots of different colors, which is wonderful. So yeah, those are my gloves for my mom. But if there is something that my mom wants, of course, I'm right there for it. So. Yeah, so I told you about that. I'm just going to take a sip of water. I have a cold right now, so you might hear it in my voice a little bit, and hopefully my voice will last. Well, we won't go too long with the podcast here. So last podcast I showed you Gnome that I was knitting. The pattern is by Schira of Imagined Landscapes, and he wasn't quite done yet, and what I wanted to show you that he's done now. I've shown him on Vlogmas, but yeah, he is quite a character. As you see, he's got his beard now, and his arms, and his nose, and then these little guys up here, these little decorations up there. So yeah, it's funny, I started this guy right before I went to San Diego last month, and yeah, it took me a while to get him finished for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway. So yeah, he's all done and dusted, as they say. And now I'm participating in her, Sarah, that is Sarah Schira's mystery knit-along gnome. And she calls it Gnandad, and I'll put it up on the screen. But what the way she has structured this is so clever. You don't get a knitting clue every single day. She spreads it out, and the other days she sends kind of a story, a piece of the story she wrote about Gnandad and the gnomes of Grimblewood. And then one other day we got a recipe for some cookies. And then one day she sent us a little drawing of that we could color. Yeah, and then another day she sent these bookmarks, which are really great. And then the story, and then a clue, and then, you know, like she intersperses it. So you have enough time, really, it's timed very well, so you can make the gnome and not feel rushed, like we all feel around this time of the year. But I just wanted to share with you how far I've gotten on Gnandad. So I picked colors from my stash, and so just want to show you what it looks like right now. Obviously this is the hat, and this little feature on top. I love her little hat features. They're so cute. And then some color work here. Obviously the brim of the hat, the body. This is hard to see here. I tried to show it on the vlog, but I don't think it came up too well. This is actually a Latvian braid that she has you do, which I believe is Gnandad's belt. Because now we're in another color, as you can see, and we're working into his body. And these are the other colors. This is another one from Toad Hollow, and it's all fingering weight that I'm using. And this is from their Princess Bride collection, and this one's called I'm Not Really Left-Handed. So, but as you can see, it's pink with speckles. So that was my color number 1. Color number 2 is this mystery yarn here, which I know is a sock yarn of some sort. So that's color number 2. And then color number 3, she kind of gives you some guidance as to how to pick your colors. Like she said, color number 3 is going to be used for like beards and face, you know, skin and that sort of thing. So you should make it white or off-white or whatever. So I had this kicking around. This is just some non-dyed bear wool from Knit Picks. And then this color is old stash. This I got when Socks That Rock were doing a sock club. And this is 100% superwash merino, lightweight, and the colorway is called the Superhero Blues. And it came with another skein of yarn that was kind of like a neon yellow. But I've always been attracted to this colorway. You can see how nicely it's variegated. And I think it'll look good in this gnome. You don't use all that much, so I'll still have plenty left over to make a pair of socks or something. So I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, that's my Gnandad so far. Stay tuned. I'll show him on the vlog as progress is made. But like I said, Sarah writes a really nice pattern, and I've made several of her gnomes now, and I just have a lot of fun. They're a small project, you know, they go fast, it seems, as long as you keep up, you know. So really liking that a lot. So that was Gnoel and Gnandad. Yeah, I'm having fun with that. I wanted to show you something just kind of in the gift category if you're looking for something small to do and you can do a little bit of simple embroidery. I came across a kit and it's called Honey Folk Needle Book. So this is kind of for people, you know, who do a lot of stitching and that sort of thing. It's similar to the needle book I have here. As you can see, it's got a button on it and a little closure. And then it opens up and you can, I store all my needles in here. Sewing as well as embroidery, sashiko needles, that sort of thing. Even different Singer needles. Sometimes my sewing machine needles go in here just to keep them safe and away from cat paws and that sort of thing. So, but what they do here is they use scraps of fabric to make the needle holder. So the kit that came is this one. Just want to show you some of the things that it came with. The button, the closure, all of these little fabrics, and even the linen interior here. This linen fabric here, and then also this wool fabric to put your needles on. And I kind of run a mending group at the library once a month. You might have seen that on Vlogmas as well. And all three librarians down there have been so supportive. All of them are stitchers themselves. The head librarian does a lot of mending. The children's librarian does a lot of stitch work, and our interlibrary loan librarian does a lot of quilting and that sort of thing. So I thought this would be a great gift for all three of them. And it doesn't take too much time, and the actual stitching is very simple. It's running stitch. Once you put all the fabrics together, it comes together really quickly. So I kind of made up two more. This one's done with the stitching, but I just need to sew it together. You know, in other words, put backing on it. Here's my bad side. This is my good side. And these are fabrics. Some of them were left over from this kit, but then others were left over in my own stash. So, and then this is the one I'm working on right now, stitch-wise. And obviously this piece of fabric will be cut off. Yeah, so once the stitching is done on this one, I'll be able to sew these up and get them going for the librarians that I volunteer for down at the library. I thought it was a nice little gift, especially if you have a stitcher in your life that, you know, they have everything, but no place to really keep all of their needles in one place and very safely. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for me this go around. I can feel my voice starting to go. So I have some other acquisitions I want to share with you, but I think I will wait until the next podcast. In the meantime, please enjoy Vlogmas. There's so many people to watch for Vlogmas that are doing a great job with it, and it's such a nice relaxing thing to sit down in the evening and watch other people's Vlogmases. Yeah, so yeah, check it out. And until I see you and talk to you the next time, stay safe, keep crafting, and take care. Bye-bye.